Meteorologist Matthew East here with you. This is the Tuesday, February 2nd here, Groundhog Day edition of the Carolina Weather Video. We do have a storm system pulling on through the region today. That's the radar image from 5:12 this morning, and at that point in time you had a big batch of precip that was pretty light up into parts of the Great Lakes, but it got heavier as you got down toward eastern Tennessee and Kentucky, down toward western Florida, and that continued to gradually lift off to the northeast. Now, the issue, at least for the short term here, if you're watching us very early this morning, is that there could still be some freezing rain in a few spots in the Piedmont of North Carolina. Temperatures could hover at or below freezing as these areas of rain develop on in. Not a big deal, but it could add a couple of slick spots to a couple of the area roadways, but really not a huge deal overall in terms of any freezing rain. And maybe even up toward the Virginia border, could be a snowflake or a sleet pellet mixed in. And certainly the mountains seeing some morning snow with this morning. But temperatures in the Piedmont will gradually warm, everyone above freezing as we get into this afternoon. We're looking at just sort of a chilly rain as we go through a good chunk of the day today. Mid to upper 30s to at most low 40s for highs this afternoon. All right, active storm track continues. Current system, of course, pulling through today. And here is the next one. A lot of energy here off the west coast, and that's going to be moving eastward. And that's going to turn into a pretty major system for us late this week. Here's the 6Z run of the GFS, and we'll start off with 1 o'clock this afternoon. And the main feature of note today is that area of low pressure near the South Carolina coast, slowly lifting up the coast, and that rain will taper off this evening. This is 1 a.m. on Wednesday. The precipitation pulling eastward and away from our area. And again, we're going to have some slick spots to contend with tomorrow morning. A lot of folks probably seeing temperatures dropping just slightly below freezing by the time Wednesday morning rolls around. So it could be some additional slick spots. But we get a pretty good day tomorrow. We'll see a good bit of sunshine. Highs upper 40s to lower 50s out there. So a pretty good looking Wednesday forecast. But here comes the next system. This is 1 o'clock Thursday. I think Thursday we're going to be able to squeeze it in probably dry. Low pressure deep down into the Gulf of Mexico. And boy, a lot of times you see a Gulf low pressure there, a lot of high pressure north of us, and that's a great looking setup for a winter storm, but really a lot of the modeling is not indicating that. Let's go out to 7 a.m. Friday rather. So 7 a.m. Friday, that low is moved inland there into southern Alabama, and the high pressure, instead of being a strong high pressure that really holds its place, it's sort of retreating northward, and it's not a very strong area of high pressure anyway. So you see initially the GFS here on the 6Z run indicating a quick shot of some wintry precip Thursday night, but as that high pressure retreats, the temperatures aloft and at the surface warm enough that in many spots it's indicating just a chilly rain, especially say from Interstate 40 southward as we go through the day Friday. So it looks like at least on the GFS, maybe an initial brief shot of some wintry precip Thursday night or Friday morning, then a chilly rain south of I-40, maybe a little bit of wintry precip hanging on north of I-40 Friday. And then on Saturday, a little piece of upper-level energy ripples through, and if that were to be the case, and a lot of the modeling has shown this at times, we could see a little piece of energy move through Saturday that could bring us just a little bit of snow somewhere across the region. Heaviest stuff probably off to the north of many folks watching this video, mainly up into the Virginias. But it'll be something to watch. This is a very complex system and a lot of details still to resolve with it. A couple of the other models here. This is the Canadian model, valid 7 o'clock in the evening Friday. And again, you're getting the idea there. One low tries to cruise up west of the mountains. There'll be redevelopment over toward the coastal plain on the Canadian. And the European, generally the same. The coastal low becoming the dominant one there. And there is some degree of wedging, but just not enough being indicated for the time being for any type of major prolonged winter storm in a lot of areas here across the region. Now, again, I say this with a word of caution because we're still a few days away. And a couple things certainly can change. It would only take a stronger area of high pressure or in a slightly farther south track of that low, and a lot of us are in business for a big winter storm. But at the moment, I don't think this has the makings of a big winter storm across much of our region. Maybe some wintry precip involved at the beginning and at the end of the storm in some spots, but right now I'm not thinking it's a huge deal. But I'm still excited about the overall pattern here. Again, this is the 8 to 10 mean European on the left, GFS on the right. And a couple of features to note here that still look pretty good here. A lot of blocking up here in Canada. A very active southern branch of the jet stream. And generally speaking, the model's still showing a pattern that's favorable for keeping things suppressed fairly far to the south. And you can pick that up as we pick up a couple frames here from the 0Z run of the GFS. This is the next system down the line. This will be next Tuesday, the 9th rather of February, system pulling through. And then you go a little bit after that, there's another system actually off to our south on the GFS. This is Saturday, or actually Friday the 12th. And then a little bit later than that, the 15th, another system pulling through. So again, I think things still continue to point to a pretty active and interesting February. Some cold air around. It looks like the storm track is going to stay active for the majority of the month. So it'll just be a matter of timing and getting everything to line up right for any additional winter storm chances. But again, the system this end of the week is at the end of this week is far from set in stone. A lot to watch with that one. A very complex storm system that'll move through, and we'll keep an eye on it. All right, that's it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thank you for watching. Have a great Tuesday, and God bless.